Welcome back, my fellow agents. It is I, your avenging agent of awesome. Yes, X7, also the host of Zenorama, the podcast of heroes and monsters. Today we're doing a book review. It is Wednesday, and that seems to have turned into what Wednesdays are. So we're going to review two books, not too much in depth because there's no real point to it, but we'll be talking about them because they cover the same material but in two very different ways, which is fascinating. So, this is cover the first book, which we'll get into as soon as we roll the Zenorama title credit card. All right, here's our first. This is not the checkerboard intro. Anyway, so here's our first book. This was published in 1989. So the interesting thing about this book, it says it's the complete Avengers. It's not quite, because that first season is barely there. It was considered lost, much like the first two seasons of Doctor Who, which they've been lucky to find as much as they have. So here's the back of it. 1989, written by Dave Rogers, and it's got interviews with many of the Avengers stars, many of them who have since passed on. Patrick McNee, Honor. I just knew what her name was a minute ago. Honor Blackman, who played Kathy Gale, and more. So the new Joanna Plumley from the New Avengers. So we're going to talk about this one first. Once again, there's the back of it. And then the second one we'll talk about is this one, which is from 2018, I believe. And here's the back of this. Neither of these books are in color. This one happened to come out long before home video, well, as home video was evolving. So there were not a lot of Avengers episodes to view. Now, it was still in syndication and you could see at least the color ones. I remember watching them, recording a few here and there back in the day. Yes, 2018, and I bought this, I don't even know. I bought them later on, both after that, maybe 2020 during everything. But we'll get some pictures here. I spiced it up with some color photo from there because there's not a lot. There's just really not much to say about it. The Avengers ran for 7 seasons. And then when the New Avengers showed up in 1976, if I remember correctly. But unfortunately, Terry Nation was involved. So Tara King, anyway, we'll get on with that. I do own this, the Mrs. Peel mega set. That's all 51 of her adventures. The first season's in black and white. Second season is in color. And that was the one that introduced us here in the States to the Avengers. I have a funny story about that, which I will get into. Because, I was a young agent and saw the Avengers that were advertised on television. I mean, this would have been like 70, 71 maybe. So, be that as it may, let's get into the episode here. All right, so we're going to start out with the 1989 book, of course, which has more pictures. Well, the second book has no pictures, but the full story of Britain's smash crime-fighting team. And once again, written in conjunction with the studio and some of the creators, and that makes it valuable that way. And it has lots more pictures, as we'll see. There's the black and white, one of the black and white intros. This came from the Dalton Public Library. Now, I don't know where Dalton is anymore, but I just left that in there because I think it's kind of cool. And if there is a date on the other side, I think that would be, I just like these sort of things now. Nope. So who knows who checked that out? I certainly would have eventually. There it is. Everything you wanted to know about the Avengers and New Avengers, except that he didn't have tapes of the entire run of what was available even then, because they just didn't exist. There's your introduction, your forward, and then first season, second two seasons, 3, 4, 5, and then finally on stage. And then Avengers merchandise and spin-offs, which I didn't get many pictures of because there's not a lot. There's puzzles and things. But he goes through this, and there's the first set of the Avengers. Well, smoking, of course, because everyone smoked. And then the second season, they brought in Honor Blackman and the other woman who played Venus. But Honor was the star because she was only in the second season and not in nearly as many episodes. They actually had another guy in that second season. So there were 3 partners, and the other 2 got just dropped immediately on the third season because Honor Blackman, Kathy Gale, was it. She was there for 2 seasons. There she is. And yeah. So she was there for 2 seasons. She left to become a movie star and was in Jason and the Argonauts as Hera, Queen of the Gods, and very good in that role. And she was also in a James Bond movie, one of the Bond girls. I like the Bond movies, but they're not my forte. So they brought in Diana Rigg as the Immaculate Emma Peel. Emma Peel's name stands for male appeal, appeal. Male appeal. So clever, but and yes, she certainly carbonated my hormones. Judo chop, very much. Austin Powers, his sidekick, whose name I'm drawing a blank on, very much based on her, and so was the Hellfire Club's Black Queen when Emma was the Queen of Sin. If you look at Jean Grey's costume in the comic book, yeah. I mean, right down to the necklace. So much the tales the stories got wilder. They got a lot more science fiction-y, cybernauts, and then in the 5th season, Tara King showed up, played by Linda Thorson, and they actually had a handoff in Emma's last episode. So there she is, beautiful woman. I mean, she did have kind of a bouffant. Almost what you would call a bulbous bouffant hairstyle. And, there's a blonde wig, and there's a cool car. So it's got great pictures in this book. I mean, it's obviously 35 years old, and I don't think I paid full price for it. It's beat up, as you could tell, $12.95. If I paid that, it was well worth it because it would be, $25 at this point in time, or probably $40. That's the stage play. Wish I could have found out who did that drawing, if you will. But so, I mean, the Avengers had cachet in England for a long time, and then they brought the new Avengers out, which there is Joanna Lumley, who would also later on in the next year or two in 79 star in Sapphire and Steel with one of the Elia Kyriarkin, David McCallum, the man from U.N.C.L.E., also the man with the 6th finger from The Outer Limits. And there they go from 1976, and Sapphire and Steel was later. Joanna Lumley would also be in Absolutely Fabulous, a show I never cared much for because the characters are just reprehensible. Pew! Just gives a little. I'll see about putting these opening credits and see what happens if YouTube lets it exist. There's they also had a male star, and I don't remember his name either. We'll get to it, but so there's the back of the book, and now we go into quite fantastic, far more in depth with plots, and they've seen more episodes because the first season, several more had been in. There, it's Michael Scott Phillips, and I highly recommend it as well because it'll give you backgrounds. on things. So the Avengers on videotape. Yeah, because that's what they shot them on, so they could bulk erase them and use the tape again because it was expensive, 3/4 inch or inch tape. There's Kathy, Honor Blackman, Venus Smith. That's who it was. And she sang a lot. And Dr. Martin King. 3 on-screen adventures. And I don't know how many she was on, but I was just like, meh. She sang a lot. She's a good singer. But I was like, meh. Julie Stevens, yes. And then we got Emma Peel. So it goes through the exact same thing. He grades these on an A through an F. And a lot of the, especially the new Avengers, do not grade very high. I don't know. They might get a B. I did not flip that one over. How about that? I thought I did. There we go. Ooh, special effect. Tara King. And then Mother. I don't remember. So it was a man called Mother because, they were funny. And now, oh yes, there's until the 1990, I did not review, I've not watched the 98 movie. I've not seen any of the Tara King episodes. I've not seen any new Avengers. I mean, I would watch them if they were on. Amazon has got the Mrs. Peel Avengers, but I have the DVDs, and now that Amazon puts ads and everything, why bother? I'm a physical media type of person. And there's Purdy, Mike Gambit. Long before Remy LeBeau took that name Gambit, you had Mike Gambit, who was a real Gambit, not a codename Gambit. And there's the back there. So look at that. They got a cover of the TV Guide, and they didn't show the black and white ones because by the time that happened, ABC, I think it was, but they wanted color television, and that's what prompted ABC in England to make them in color. But really, it's a great show. The stories, I mean, even the worst of them are all watchable. The time frame and the early 60s to the mid 60s London, and then that mid 70s look that tries to be futuristic fails. Once again, I've not seen the movie and have no plans to, even though I liked both of the actors that are in it. Go sue me. All right, but yes, that is our episode for today. I'll attach this opening credit here at the end, like I said, and see if YouTube allows it. I don't know why they wouldn't. I mean, really, who's going to care? It's just all there is to it. So that is our short episode for today. And until tomorrow, when we talk about the Green Hornet, which is our first 2-parter, dun dun dun. This is X7 signing off. Oh, and please like, share, and subscribe, and leave a comment. Thanks.